Sup, you guys? I just want to share this new video I saw today from Marcus Picks. It supposedly got some good tips for how to be a better YouTuber, how to get more subscribers, how to get more clicks, how to get more views. So I want to take a look at it and see kind of what's going on. I think it should be pretty cool. Hopefully, I hear it's good. In all seriousness, this is kind of a fun, jokey video, throwing some barbs, throwing some punches. And we're just going to play along, have a little bit of fun, laugh a little bit, hopefully, and just have a good time.
Hi there. I'm not relevant, but you can be. See, I don't need clicks and subscribers and all that stuff. I don't need that, but you might want the money.
So I haven't seen Marcus Picks before, but I think I'll definitely be watching the channel a little bit more often. He does have 156,000 subscribers. So the fact that he says he doesn't need this or doesn't want it, I'm like, okay, well, you're doing pretty good. Keep it up.
And the fame and the glory and all the accolades that come with being famous on YouTube. So, to be relevant, you must do this. But first, a word from our sponsor, Squarespace.
Yes, the good old Squarespace ads. They're everywhere. Squarespace, gosh, Audible, quite a few of them. The common YouTube podcast, paid sponsorship integration. They're everywhere. You can't escape it. Even if you have the YouTube Premium and you don't have the ads, you still get the the sponsored ad.
You must start with the video with the word sup. So important. Sup, okay? Really important. You must wear a baseball cap to be relevant and be accepted by society. You must do secret gang symbols with your hands pretending to be a white guy who raps. That's so important. And you
Okay. I can do more of that. I can definitely use my hands more. I can start every video with sup. If that's all it takes, I'm down to do it.
must show off that you
And a baseball cap, I got it. We're good.
know how to skateboard and you hang out with the skateboarding crowd. Otherwise, you're just an aging loser. And that ties in with the baseball cap because that tells people you may be losing your hair, but you're still young at heart. It's really important.
So the baseball cap for me, I'm not losing hair. That's not the problem I have. It's when the hair gets long, I need something to hold it back. Is honestly what the baseball cap is. And just backwards, it tends to be better for lighting because if I wear it forwards, then my face is all shadowed. And that could be a cool look, I suppose, if that's the look I was going for. But I just wear it backwards. It's more comfortable for me. I like the lighting better. Keeps the hair out of my face. It's not to hide any bald spots, although everyone's got their own thing. Everyone's got their own style. I'm not talking about your hair, Mr. Marcus Picks over here, and the nice little haircut you got going on. Okay, I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about your hair.
Tells people you may be losing your hair, but you're still young at heart. It's really important that you use the word cinematic whenever possible because everybody wants to be a filmmaker. So put cinematic in the title and make people think that you know the secret on how to be cinematic. You must use the term B-roll like you work in the film business. Yeah, B-roll. I do B-roll. When I do B-roll, yeah, I just did B-roll. When I do B-roll there. B-roll in every other sentence you use. It makes people think you're in the film business and you know what you're talking about. And we all know this is the most important thing of anything, is that you must have a blurry background. You must have blurry backgrounds as much as possible.
So, yeah, because like cinematic B-roll, blurry backgrounds, these all going hand in hand with the larger sensors. I get it. I don't know why you wouldn't. Why would you want? I wouldn't want to shoot this at like an f/22 and blast myself with light. I kind of want to shoot shallow to have the blurry. I don't need everything in focus. Maybe it's not. It's so interesting. The stuff that was cool because the technology allowed us to do it has become so overused that it's almost cool to now like make fun of it and do the opposite, which is just taking us back to what it was before. And cinematic, I think that's a good word. I know this is just a playful video. I know it's just being silly. We're all just having fun here. But there are words, they're catchphrases, buzzwords, cinematic B-roll. Yeah, they get overused, they get overplayed. But I don't know because there's no good substitute. Like bokeh gets talked a lot about because that's like what it's called. That's what it is. The blurry background. Cinematic. A lot of people want that style because it is a style. And so, yeah, it gets overused and overplayed. But is the answer to not be cinematic? What does that even mean? To be worse?
Nothing says cinematic filmmaker like a blurry background.
Absolutely.
You must have annoying house music while doing stuff.
Shoot. Hold on. Let me turn on some music here, guys. Hold the phone. Hold on. House music. I don't got house. I don't even know the house. Is house cool anymore? Are people doing house still? I think lo-fi. Lo-fi is where it's at. That's what we need. Lo-fi. Just sit there and enjoy some cool lo-fi beats in the background. That is the trick. Hopefully, guaranteed, this video will get millions of views now. Got to say sup, got to do the hand gestures, backwards baseball cap. We're good there. Throw some music in the background. Should I crank it a little louder, be more annoying? Is that more helpful? I think that's what he said to do. Loud house music. I don't have house music. I think it's not going to work for me. It's not going to work. I shouldn't even try.
It annoys the hell out of people, but for some reason, people do it. So you must do it too, because you got to be like them. You must speed up and slow down your boring footage to make it seem more interesting. Everybody's got boring footage, so speed it up and slow it down. Speed it up and slow it down. Really important, all right? You got to learn your speed ramping and your editing system. You must cut away to slow motion close-ups of stupid things to be artsy. Again, the shots are boring, so do slow motion stuff to make it.
Now, so I wonder, again, this is all fun, this is all silliness. Are there a lot of bad YouTubers out there who are doing this? Because I'm trying to think of the popular ones that I know of who have been successful on YouTube, who get hundreds of thousands of views, who get millions of views. I don't feel like their footage is boring and they're doing speed ramps for no reason, or they're doing slow motion for no reason. Maybe I'm just out of touch. Maybe I don't know who he's referring to. I can imagine there's probably boring YouTubers who are just slowing down footage, and they probably have a channel with, hundreds of views or something. It's pretty small, pretty niche. Okay. But who are the popular people that are doing this? I feel like a lot of the popular people are trying really hard and actually doing kind of cool, interesting things, but maybe not. Maybe I don't know.
Make it even more boring, but that at least shows that you're artsy. And artsy says cinematic. That says filmmaking. You must use drone footage so people will wow at the epicness. Nothing says epic like drone footage. So get a drone. You must use a cage.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. You should have a drone probably. I think it's a really helpful tool in your toolkit that doesn't get stale, really, because there's always a good reason for a drone. Now, don't overdo it with the drone shots. I don't need a whole video of drone shots, but yeah, throw a drone shot in there. It's a nice establishing transition. However, is that a problem? Again, I know this is a silly joke video. We're not taking it too serious, but if I am going to take it a little serious, what's the problem with the drone shots? That I would say something more like, shooting everything with a gimbal, or having autofocus on the whole time, or shooting super shallow at like a f1.2 for everything on a full frame camera. There's gimmicks that get overplayed. So yeah, I guess if you're doing, I'm doing the hand gestures. I got to keep that up. If you're doing the drone shots and you're overdoing it, but again, I don't know the videos he's referring to, or the style that's kind of being, mocked or jabbed, roasted a little bit, where it's just all drone shots. If someone's doing a travel vlog, I kind of want to see, the island that they're at, or, hey, we went to this volcano, or, hey, check out this iceberg. I would hope they had a drone with them. Not essential, but I think it's kind of nice.
Page to make your tiny camera look impressive. Hollywood people stick stuff all over their cameras, so you need to stick stuff all over your camera. Makes it really impressive. You must do speed or math.
The cage is accurate. Okay, the matte box, the cage, the follow focus, the excessive rigs that people are building. I feel like it's fallen out of favor a little bit. So I think we're headed the right direction. And it's that there's that subtle nuance. If you're doing it just for YouTube, just to have a cool looking camera, that's not really serving a purpose. If it's for a client project and it's to make that impression, give the client the confidence that, hey, I know what I'm doing, because my camera doesn't look like I'm just taking pictures. It looks like I'm shooting footage. I think that there's some value to that. The optics, the perception is really valuable. So there's always a time and a place. And I think it's valuable to put a matte box on a camera sometimes to give it that look of professional, even though I personally don't use matte boxes. I'm not a big fan. I don't think they're all that necessary for a lot of things that I do. Maybe you have something different where you absolutely need a matte box. But for me, I don't need a matte box all that often. But they can be valuable in terms of communicating quickly, shorthand, just conveying confidence that, yes, I'm shooting video. This is footage. This is high quality. This is premium. I'm not doing photography. The worst thing about, hybrid mirrorless production is if you're shooting video, but your rig doesn't look like you're shooting video, and people will always ask you, can you take my picture? And you can, but then you're switching modes, and that's not really what you're trying to do. You're there for video. So there is a time and a place to make your camera look like it's doing video. This example is pretty funny. The Osmo Pocket 3 rigged out with a matte box and a cage and everything. That's a little hyperbolic. That's a little funny. And the only time I would do that is like to impress a client, probably.
Beforehand to be super hyper, because boring people are boring. And when you're slow, people just click to the next video. All right, speed or meth, really important. Having tattoos, a beard, and shaving the side of your head helps tremendously.
Okay, so talk fast. Got it. I can do that. I'll try and be a little quicker. However, if you're listening at 2x speed, you might have to slow it down. Sorry about that. Tattoos. I don't have any tattoos, although that is, again, shorthand for like creative, artsy person. The more tattoos you have, the thing I've always struggled with tattoos. So I got the beard. Okay. Check there. Good on the beard. Although I think that's just kind of it just grows naturally. So it's almost, well, I don't want to say it's no maintenance, but it's natural to have a beard for some people. The tattoos, though, they're kind of an all or nothing, make or break it. That's why I've never got a tattoo, because I just feel like that once you get one, you got to go all the way, because the sleeve and everything, that looks really cool once you've built it out and you got all the tattoos, some jewelry also. The more jewelry, the more artsy, the better, the more creative. But I just couldn't commit to a tattoo, because I would just know I would have to go all the way. And I always wonder, are there people who are in the in-between? Because that's got to be like that's like the opposite. You either have none or you have a ton. Tattoos. That's the only way it works.
Honestly, it screams youthful masculinity that women flock to. You are a hormone-driven frenzy. You are the coolest cool of cinematic filmmakers. You must have a background lit up with RGB lights, especially cinematic filmmakers.
Oh, it is a Lumix camera. Which one? What's
driven frenzy. You are the coolest cool of cinematic filmmakers.
What do we got? This gray Lumix.
Makers.
Is that like a GH2? I know the GH2 is great, but I don't remember the blackout logo.
You are the coolest cool of cinematic filmmakers.
I like it. I dig it. I like that Lumix is getting some love there with the hands.
You must have a background lit up with RGB lights, especially.
Done. I got it. Boom. How come I'm not getting millions of views? These are the secrets. I'm clearly got it covered.
Blue, purple, pink, and you need to have shelves with immature toys like action figures on there.
I don't have the shelves. And I don't have the pink back there. Hold on. That can be fixed. If it's pink, we need pink. We shall have. So pink, got it. Just need some shelves with some toys. Okay, good call. Good call. Thank you.
Show that you are in fact not aging and still in touch with your inner child and young at heart. That's so important. So
yeah, see, that background looks really nice. The shelves with the toys and the camera, and it's blurry. That's a good Marcus, why don't you have this background all the time? It looks so good. It looks so cinematic.
Skateboarding, baseball cap backwards, and immature action figures on the shelves in the back. And you need to light them up with blue, pink, and purple RGB lights. You cannot use
purple. Okay, shoot. Blue, pink, and purple. All right. Yeah, I'm going to have to work on that. I'm really have to upgrade my setup.
Cameras that are more than 6 months old. You must only review things that have not even been released to normal people yet. If you review something that's already been out for a few months, that shows you're just a normal everyday loser. Oh, this is so important. This is so important.
Yeah. If only they sent me those cameras. I just don't think they'd be happy with what I have to say, because I'm always nitpicking. I'm always complaining a little bit. I know maybe I should be more positive, but there's some things I really like, but almost everything is not perfect. And maybe that's what I want. Maybe I want it to be perfect, and it never will be. And I just have to come to terms with that. But no, I think that's a fine standard. There's always room for improvement. Every time I do a shoot, I think about what could I have done better next time. And I think that's helpful. That's a valuable mindset. If you say, oh, it's perfect, I couldn't have been better, then I don't know how you get better if you're not picking things apart a little bit. So yeah, I don't think I'm going to get any new cameras, because they're not going to like what I have to say.
You must use the term game changer whenever describing the latest item you are reviewing, and also the term next level.
Okay, we're going to take this to the next level. and I'm going to start getting some game-changing products in here. So
must use the word mind-blowing in the title. So mind-blowing, next level game changer
in the title. Done.
You're guaranteed 100,000 clicks the first day. And when
100,000 clicks the first day, he said it, guaranteed 100,000 clicks the first day. If I put mind-blowing in the title, that is going to happen with this video. And we're going to put it to the test. We're going to find out if this gets 100,000 views. In fact, I hope it actually doesn't, because I don't know how many views does his video have? 17,000 views. That's not enough. There is a sketch at the beginning that I skipped over. So you should go watch this video. I actually think the opening sketch is quite funny, very appropriate. Some nice little bits. There's actually the voiceover sounds very familiar to me. I don't know if he's doing the voiceover at the beginning on the phone call. Anyway, you just got to go watch it. You got to go check it out because this video is kind of funny and it deserves more than 17,000 views. But he didn't put mind-blowing in the title. That's why it says why I'm not relevant. It says I'm mind-blowing reasons why I'm not relevant. And then you'd have your 100,000 views in the first day.
Taking pictures, you must hold the camera like this. Sure, the rear screen does not give a proper representation of exposure.
So, okay, again, balancing between, I know we're joking around, I know we're having fun, but to take this, who is this kind of mocking here? Who's this roasting? Who are we poking at? Are there people out there shooting like this in their videos? I mean, maybe it's exaggerated, like, some people using the screen and he's just making it sillier. But I've never seen the YouTuber who does this style of shooting.
Or color, but who cares? It looks cool, and that's what matters. Never ever use the viewfinder, even though it's more accurate, because viewfinders are for pussies. The closer the camera is to your face, the more of a loser you are.
All right, so I'm not talking about your hair. I'm not going to talk about your tight red and black angled shirt. I'm not going to talk about the jeans with the fading marks, the tight jeans with the fading marks. I'm not going to talk about any of that because that's not what this video is about.
You are, and this is important. You're not a photographer. You're not a videographer. You are a shooter. You need to use the term.
I don't use the term. I try and not put it because I feel like YouTube's going to ding me if I start saying how to shoot this, how to shoot that, shoot. I'd probably just demonetize this whole video because I said shoot too many times.
Shooter, because it makes people feel more like a man and less like a nerd. You don't take pictures, you shoot things. You're a shooter. All right. What else? Oh yeah, the gaming chair. You got to.
The gaming chair. I don't have a gaming chair. Are there YouTubers and filmmakers with gaming chairs? I must be out of touch. I need to know who these people are. Send me their videos. I want to know who these. Let me go see all the gaming chairs. Let's point them out. Let's mock these people like Marcus is here. I don't have a gaming chair. I need to get one. Shoot. Oh, I'm a shooter. Hey, I said it. Shoot. No, the shooter. Taking pictures. Shooting. Does that offend me? A shooter? I don't think so. I don't know why that would be. Is that overplayed? Shooter? I don't know.
Got to have a gaming chair because it makes people feel like you're in a race car.
I do like the AI pictures that he generated for this. I'm glad he's not calling anyone out, putting them on blast. We've got some AI people that we can mock, and that's all fun and games. But then I also don't know who he's referencing. Who's out there with the gaming chair? Lumix. Does Marcus Pix like Lumix? If so, I like Marcus Pix.
You need to say killer in the title. For example, Panavision.
Okay. We got to now. There's a lot of instruction here, Marcus. We've got to have killer in the title, and we have to have mind-blowing. All right. Let me get my pen and paper. And killer and mind-blowing, both in the title. And then I'll get the 100,000 views.
Panavision killer. Arri Alexa killer. You kill the big important things because you got something more important. And if you're over 50, stop using the term kit or piece of kit. All right. That nothing says you're over 50 like using the word kit and piece of kit. Just stop it. It's
kit over 50. I don't get this one. This is a joke. I'm out of touch. I'm not in the inside. I don't get this inside joke. Kit. Are we not allowed to say that? I'm not over 50. I think I say kit. Yeah. And my kit. I don't know what's wrong with that.
It's old. Just don't do it. And if you don't meet all these criteria, don't worry. I'm in the loser category too. I don't just review things that have been out for a while. I review stuff that they don't even make anymore and people have long forgotten about.
Hey, me too. That's why I did the HVX video. Marcus, look, the HVX 200. It's a beautiful camera. I made a video all about it. Yes, I released it on April 1st. It was a little tongue-in-cheek. It was a little silly, but this video is also a little silly. This camera is nearly 20 years old. I think it's 19 years old, but we'll just round up and say it's 20 years old. HVX 200. I'm doing the same thing as you, man. That's the problem. I'm in the loser category. I need to be in the winning category. So killer, mind-blowing, pink lights, blurry backgrounds. Got it.
I don't wear baseball caps. I don't have tattoos. I like using cheap plastic stuff instead of super expensive things whenever possible. And I don't shoot raw. I don't care about dynamic range. And I don't use RGB lights. I
don't shoot raw and I don't care about dynamic range. I need to watch more of this. I need to watch more of his videos because I'm curious what that means. To me, that's a little triggering. You don't shoot raw. Like photos, I assume he's talking about photos. For video, I don't shoot raw video either. But for photos, I do raw and JPEG. And I don't care about dynamic range. Is it because, is he saying that nowadays everything is good enough? I would loosely agree with that. But that doesn't mean I don't care about dynamic range. If you said you have one stop at dynamic range, brand new camera, it's got 2 stops of dynamic range. We have a brand new camera, it's got 3 stops of dynamic range. I would care about that. So it's not that I don't care. I need to watch more of his videos.
I'm a lousy skateboarder and I don't use drones. And my
I never learned how to ollie. I tried in 5th grade. I really tried because skateboarding was super cool back then. Everyone had the baggy jeans, Jinko jeans. If you had fire on your pants, that was the ultimate, those peak, you were cool. And the skating shoes, you want no arch support. That was the coolest thing. And if you could ollie, if you could skateboard, that was the cool club. And I never could ollie. So loser.
Strobes are not even the pro version. I'm a loser, but
pro, you need your gear to say pro on it. So again, the HVX 200, you can see DVC Pro HD. That's how you know it's a professional device.
I don't care. At least I have one thing that I'm thankful for.
What? Oh, what's the one thing he's thankful for? I don't know. I don't want to spoil it. You should go watch the video and find out for yourself because it is a good video. And I'm going to subscribe here to Marcus Picks channel. And actually, let's go check out the other videos he's got going on. What's the most popular Marcus Picks? Again, I'm not talking about the hair. Okay. It's pretty cool hair. I'm just saying, I understand why you don't want to wear the baseball cap because the hair is so cool, but I'm not talking about that. Here's why. Okay, I want popular. $16 amazing, the world's cheapest and amazing camcorders, epic video. 3 years ago, you put in the words epic in the title. Is this a joke video?
All right, the world's cheapest camcorders.
Marcus, don't tell me you're not trying to be cool with that hairdo. Don't tell me you're not trying to get clicks and likes with that haircut. It's too cool. This tight shirt with these buttons, we're not talking about it, okay? But in all seriousness and all playfulness, it's pretty cool looking.
I know camcorders are outdated. Nobody uses them anymore. I mean, the cell phone has pretty much made everything here. Whatever, it doesn't matter. I love camcorders. I think they're cool. One of the things I like about camcorders in general is they're made for video. The DSLR cameras that people use that take video, they're made mainly for taking pictures, but they all.
Ooh, I don't know, Marcus. The DSLR. So this is 3 years ago. This video came out. This is not 10 or 15 years ago that this came out. That they're made for taking pictures, so don't use them for video, even though they have good video features. We should use camcorders because that's what's made for video. Ooh, I don't know if I make it through this video.
also take video. Camcorders are made for video. You can run them all day long. They won't overheat. You can run them.
The overheating. I'm plagued by the overheating. Every time I watch a video and someone talking about video recording, they're talking about overheating. The GH1 never overheated on me. The GH2 never overheated on me. The GH4 never overheated on me. The GH5 never overheated on me. The only camera that started the overheating crisis, the heat gate, I don't know, whatever, was the R5, the Canon R5. And yes, this video 3 years ago, this would have been after the Canon R5. Ooh, is this a joke video? I can't tell.
Run them for 5 hours and they'll still run. I mean, that's what they're made for. And the thing about camcorders is they're made for idiots. You don't even need to know where the on button is. You just open up the flippy screen and it just goes on immediately. And then you just push the record button and that's it. And it has almost all of them have a flippy screen that flips around so you can see yourself to take a video. How easy is that? I mean, they're so easy to use. You don't even have to know what you're doing. Most of the cameras.
Was this shot on a camcorder? I really feel like this video is shot on a camcorder.
Nowadays, you have to know what you're doing. You got to kind of figure it out. Anyway, I'm going to go through the world's cheapest camcorders. Are they any good? Let's find out.
Okay.
That's another thing about camcorders. That's really.
I'm glad. Great. Let's see. I'm pretty sure this dude is somewhere between 16 and 65. Accurate. Tyke Myson, 69. This man's passion for camcorders is admirable. I can only imagine the amount of work that went into this one video. Why does every single one of his videos feel like one of those teen television shows from the early 2010s? Oh. Accurate. That's funny. That's funny. All right. Ultra cheap movie tricks and practical effects. A year ago. This did well.
This science fiction set was made using one of the oldest tricks in the book, and it's very effective. This shot of a jet was done in a tiny living room. Guess who this is and what you're not seeing in the shot, or where this was shot, or how this UFO was faked, all without computers, CGI, or green screen. Today, we have all kinds of behind-the-scenes tricks from the 80s and 90s.
Cool. I dig it. All right.
One of my favorites is miniature models. Here's one I made of Washington, D.C., because it's illegal to fly over Washington. There was even airplanes in the Air and Space Museum. I made the entire...
I love this video. That's great. It's kind of gives me Captain Disillusion vibes. I don't know why, because it's a little special effects, VFX breakdown kind of things, but I like that looking back, nostalgia. I think recently I saw Corridor Digital did a cool video on sodium vapor lights and the green screening technology from Mary Poppins, like very fascinating stuff. Kind of look back and see what people used to do, how they did it back in the day, how we can use some of those same tricks and techniques today with, amplified by modern technology. Love it. All right. And YouTube, I get affordable large sensor camcorders, JVC LS300 and the Panasonic AF100. I love those camcorders. Those are great camcorders. Now, it's not my style, not my preference to use the camcorder body. I really do like the mirrorless style, but those are good, solid camera choices. The most practical camera of all, seriously, the most practical camera, ND versus polarizing filter. Which do I use and why? Crazy cheap sliders. Okay. Affordable Cinema Beast, the JV LS300. Marcus. Okay, I think we're seeing eye to eye. Eye to eye. Your hair kind of comes on the front. My hair kind of goes in the back. You got this blonde look going. I got the darker brunette. Let's make some magic happen. Who am I? Yes, I do want to know the secret of good video and filmmaking. Why I don't shoot RAW or 4K with digital cameras for YouTube. Well, okay, that's a lot of qualifiers here. Why I don't shoot RAW or 4K with digital cameras for YouTube. Arguably, you probably could or should shoot 4K for YouTube even 3 years ago, but you definitely don't need to shoot RAW for YouTube. That's fair. I get it. And I think I kind of like your style, even without it. This is fun. I get it. Hollywood tricks and practical effects. Cool. More of that. Tiny but amazing. The camcorders really dominate. Banding and flicker. Yep. Auto tracking cameras. I'm gonna do a little bit of a deeper dive. I love the silliness. I love the jokery. The camcorder obsession is a little interesting to me. Smaller, lighter, and cheaper than Amaran 60D. So we got some lighting, big, bright, and cheap. So this is like camcorders and cheap. But then also, are we talking about photography or video? Why I almost ended this channel. All right. That's a very YouTube-y type of video. Interesting. I love camcorders. Lots of love for the camcorders. What are you doing with the camcorders? You doing like reality TV? I want to understand the work. What are the camcorders being used for? For making YouTube videos? Yeah, you could use any camera for a YouTube video. Use a iPhone, use a GoPro, use a Osmo Pocket 3, which I know you have because you put it in that map box. I saw you do it. 1-inch sensor, blurry backgrounds. Yes, that's possible. Yep. All right, interesting. Lots of modeling work I'm seeing. Lots of blonde women here. Okay, lots of glamour. Nice. All right. Yes, same. This woman's featured a lot. I wonder, are they in a relationship? Is this someone he works with frequently? Looks to be this era, was a lot of that. Okay. All right. I'm digging it. The beauty camcorder. Man, the camcorder. Spy camera video, $25. All right. Instant boost in camera. Now, I am looking at these out of order. These didn't come out in this order chronologically. These are just popular. So we're kind of going from most popular to least. Insanely tall but cheap, sturdy tripods. That's helpful. I bought a new camera and I love it. What's the new camera that you love?
So I bought a new camera. What did I buy and
Marcus
why?
picks. That background would be so much better if it was blurrier. What are you doing?
Well, I dropped my A7 III. It still works. I mean, it still works. I broke the filter on the front and I broke the flash trigger.
What? He looks like Zach or Cody, one of the two, living that sweet life. Is there just some time travel involved in this era? I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about the hair. This is silly. It's all in fun.
On it, but the A7 III and the lens were fine, but it shook me up a little bit, and I don't know, I don't trust it. It still works, but I wanted, when you go on vacation, once in a lifetime type stuff, you want to make sure everything works perfect, and I didn't want to take any chances, so I bought a new camera. Now the camera,
What's so wild about this setup is it doesn't even look like he's there because of the lighting, because of how sharp the background is. It looks green screen, but I can't. It is or isn't. I can't tell. It's really tripping me out.
camera I got is not for video. It's for picture taking, because that's what I do when I go on vacation. I take pictures, and I've already taken a lot of pictures with this thing, and they turned
Is this a joke? Is he not on vacation right now?
out great because I know how these are going to turn out. I love the warmth of this. This camera has a real warmth
It's a clean key if it's a green screen.
to it. I love the look, the feel, the colors. I love everything about this camera for picture taking. So what I got is another A7 III. I could have gotten any camera in the world, but I got another A7 III. For picture taking, for me, this is the best camera.
A7 III for picture taking. Let's see. 7 months ago? All right.
I just love this camera so much for picture taking. And the pictures just have this warmth to them that I have not gotten with any other Sony camera. So this is an A7 III, brand new, and they're not that expensive because they've been around for many years now. It's not the newest best thing, but if you're into picture taking, this is my favorite one. I mean, I am sure every brand has its whatever, everybody has their own taste and everything, but for just all around picture taking, this is my favorite camera. I don't use this for video because it will overheat after a while.
See the overheating. Sony, Canon, you're killing me. Make cameras that don't overheat because then I don't have to hear how they're not video cameras because they are. They're capable of it. There's companies that make this style camera that shoot video hybrid. It does both video and photo. It's possible. It is possible.
For if I was to do I mean, I don't even do full frame videos. Mostly all my vlogs on this channel are the RX100 Mark 7, which I'm shooting with right now. This
RX100 Mark 7. I think what do I have? What is this? What is this one? This is does it even say on here which version? This is the RX100 5. Oh man. I must be even cooler because I have the older one. Take that, Marcus Picks.
This is my little vlog camera. But if I was to shoot video with full frame for portability, if I'm traveling and want to shoot full frame, I have two A7Cs that I use for that. They're very portable and they're very good and dependable for video. The A7S III will last the longest without overheating. A7C.
I'm interested. Okay, so this video, it's a lot of Sony gear, which makes, if you're all Sony and you get the E-mount lenses, okay, cool. But then in the other video, he was showing Lumix cameras. Now, was he mocking people like me that shoot Lumix? Was that a joke? Now I take it all back. I'm offended if this man is shooting all Sony and he's throwing the Lumix into his videos as some kind of gotcha, as some kind of, it's not a joke. The Lumix cameras are great. They don't overheat. So this man is, I'm bewildered. I'm lost. I'm confused. Let's dig in more.
Cs are the smallest for traveling. So it depends what's most important. My videos are never over 5 minutes, 10 minutes long. So those cameras can handle
Well, this video with you in it is about to be longer than 5 minutes. That's for sure.
that. But for picture taking, it's the A7 III. This thing, the pictures are just great.
I'm kind of surprised. I've never come across his content in all the years I've been scrolling on YouTube, consuming content. I've never seen Marcus pics before.
Doesn't have the flip out screen again because I don't use
Is it Mark US? No, it can't be. It's Marcus. It's got to be Marcus, right? Yeah.
it for video. I use this for picture taking. That's what this is for. The other one, the A7 III, still works. I ran it
He
through.
likes the strobes. He likes the strobe photography. I dig it. It's definitely a look, but not that like natural light. It's more commercial, more, I don't know, how would you say it? Artificial for sure, but it can be very like poppy. Like, wow, it catches your attention because it's lighting that you don't see all the time. Very high impact.
his tests and everything, and pictures look great. Everything's wonderful. I just don't want to take any chances when I go on trips like this. So
He must be there. Because he's talking about vacation. He's talking about going on trips. He's talking about shooting on what are these? The RX 100 Mark 7 that he's on.
give the other one away. That's right. I'm giving away my other A7 III. That's the one that's been around
The one you dropped? Did I remember the story correctly? He dropped it and he's giving it away?
the world so
And he bought a new one because he doesn't trust it?
many times, taking so many pictures, all these.
But he's always taking pictures of this gal. Who are these pictures for? Are you traveling all over the world taking pictures? Is she the client, the one client? I really need to understand this relationship.
Pictures here were taken with the original A7 III that I'm giving away. The camera giving away took these pictures. You could be the lucky winner. MarcusPics.giveawayenter.com, of course.
No functionality guarantee. Because he dropped it.
So I'll pick that in a little bit. In the meantime, I'm going to enjoy my
I
new
wonder
one.
if that's a real website. All of this could be an elaborate joke. You know, I get those vibes. This could be a fake website. It's just a troll. It's just a haha, gotcha. But there's so much effort put into it. The camcorders, the model, the photography. I'm gonna have to think about this for days, I think. I didn't even know this is the direction we were headed. I just saw a funny video about roasting some YouTubers and making fun of the filmmaker types. This is getting in there. It's getting in there.
So I'll pick that in a little bit. In the meantime, I'm going to enjoy my new one. A7 III, full frame. I love it. That's my video. I'm using my.
He is there. He does the reveal. So he's there. He's filming with the extra lighting to make it, and that's why it looks like it's green screen, because it's lit like you would light, not in a studio, right? Like it's lit. Okay.
My well makings here, little portable travel lights that I love for doing vlogs.
Is it a vlog if you're lighting it like this? I feel like that's not a vlog. Maybe it is. Maybe vlog is a loose term and has no definition. It's a video log.
3 of those on little lightweight light stands so I can light up my face while I talk. RX 100 Mark 7, taking this video. Little
That said 8. That said 8. It's a joke. Look, he said Mark 7, and that says Mark 8. I don't know how to make heads or tails of this.
taking this video, little Osmo action cam for the wide shot.
The Osmo action cam for the wide shot, was that what we used for the the behind the scenes too? What about this camera? Was this the Osmo?
That's my video. So, MarcusPix.giveawayenter.com if you want an A7 III. That's the camera I like for taking pictures. Until next week, have a good time. I will see you then. Bye-bye.
He feels very familiar to me, but I've never seen him before. Very, very interesting. Oldest. Let's go. That's always the fun little YouTube time machine. Go to the oldest. 6 years ago. Okay. So on YouTube for, I don't know, maybe had videos. Welcome. My name is Marcus Rothkranz. If you want to know who I am, watch this. That's a link I can't click. This channel is full of cool, fun, and wacky photography and video tips, tricks, hacks, gear giveaways that you said the function might not be guaranteed. So I can't, that needs a little disclaimer there, Marcus. We need to say gear giveaways, asterisk, let people know you're giving away stuff that may be broken. Inspirational images made with preferably small portable cameras and travel gear. I like that. I like that. Cheap too. I also like. I love to play with lights, outdoor flash strobes, and lighting with all kinds of modifiers used when outdoors or traveling light and fast, especially Godox equipment. Especially Godox equipment? Do you have some affiliation with Godox, or you just really like them? Favorite cameras include Sony full-frame mirrorless cameras for that great blurry background bokeh and Godox Flashpoint outdoor high-speed sync flash equipment and LED lights. Is Godox paying you for this? And you like the blurry background bokeh, but you told me you were kind of mocking it in that other video. Don't lie, Marcus. I know you were mocking the blurry backgrounds. Find out what are the best portable softboxes. You weren't using softboxes in the video I just watched. You had bare bulbs. You were bare bulbing it. What filters to use and still keep travel gear light. APS-C crop sensor cameras also take great pictures, as well as Micro Four Thirds Panasonic Lumix cameras. Okay, so it wasn't a joke. Ooh, I can rest a little bit easier. We weren't mocking the Lumix. I'd like to hear that. Kara Brotman is the blonde model. Also check out our main health channel. Okay, our main health channel. So they got some partnership. They're working together. They're married. They're lovers. I don't know. People's relationships, not my business, but it is. I'm glad he addresses it here in the About Me, because it is, you're going through the videos and you're wondering, who is this person that's in all your photos? Because you're traveling for work, but like you're just taking a bunch of pictures of her. Cool. Oldest video on the channel. Nice shot with a camcorder for sure. That zoom, that shakiness, it doesn't get better than that.
I love photography, but I hate heavy equipment. So I figured out a way to do outdoor flash photography on location.
What was this jacket, Marcus? Bring this back. You're gonna call out the tattoo, the backwards hat, where you're gonna poke fun at the cinematic filmmaker types, the aesthetic. Okay.
Photography on location, moving fast and light without a lot of heavy equipment, but getting the same kind of look that people do with lots of equipment. So let me give you my tips and tricks and enjoy my channel.
This is like a little channel trailer. Okay, I got a feeling this wasn't the first video on the channel. He must have some older ones they deleted. That's my guess. A lot of people do that. You start a channel, you start doing one thing. Over time, it gets old, it gets stale, it gets whatever. I think all my oldest ones are still there. I kind of like leaving them just so you can go back. You can click oldest on my channel and see I don't even know what the oldest one is. Cool. Is there anything else? Are we just getting music? Okay. 6 years why I switched from Canon to Sony. All right. So are there a lot of people out there shooting Sony and Lumix? Is that a thing? I don't know. I don't know how to tackle that one. So I switched from Canon to Sony. All right, let's see. Let's see. It's only a minute. It's only 2 minutes. Let's check it out. A Godox, a Canon 5D, and a T5i. That's it. Cool.
When I first started taking pictures of Kara, I was using heavy Canon DSLR cameras with heavy Canon.
Now that's a look. Are you kidding me, Marcus? That is the look of that era, that generation. You were fitting in just like everybody else. So don't you mock the baseball cap. Don't you mock those arm tat. Don't you mock the beard, okay? Because I know 100 guys that looked like this. It was a look. That leather cuff, the deepest of V's. Look at that beaded necklace.
Canon lenses and a Godox 360 mounted right on the camera.
The denim, more necklaces, more jewelry, more leather bangles.
Hot shoe. It was like a hotel wedding photographer
But
set.
those tight pants. We're not talking about the tight pants. We're not talking about the hair. I'm just noticing.
And it was just so heavy. My shoulders started hurting for an entire year before I switched over to
Those shoes, Marcus. Those shoes. I know those shoes. I know 100 guys who had those same shoes. When this photo was taken, circa 2010, I know you were fitting in.
before I switched over to Sony mirrorless. Yeah, I know I could have used a monopod to support the weight, but they're just awkward and annoying.
Yeah. So here's the thing. Here's a pro tip, extra trick. If you've made it this far, this is the secret. Good photography is just have a good model. Just have something nice to look at, and the photo will be great.
And they take time to set up, and I want to be able to just grab and shoot anywhere, anytime, like a soldier in the battlefield. I like the mobility of just having a camera in my hand ready.
See, that's the secret. This picture of waves, it's what? It's a rock. It's some waves. Put a model in there, something nice to look at. Boom. Now you're a photographer.
My hand ready to go.
Trees, clouds, a bush, some palm trees. Throw a model in there, something nice to look at. Boom, you're a photographer.
The only modifier back then
Look at that. What is this? Some crusty rocks, some sand. Put a model in there. Boom, you're a photographer.
was the little frosted reflector dish that came with
I have it like a tree in my backyard. Okay, no one cares about the trees in my backyard. If I put a model in it, I can be a photographer.
reflector dish that came with the Godox AD360.
These vines. This is like a viney root tree. It's just like bare bulb in it. Put a model in there. Do the rest.
It diffused the light enough for me, but boy, is that 360 powerful. It can throw a lot of light quite a distance, even with telephoto shots and bright sunlight on a beach.
The pants, Marcus. Look how long that necklace is. Does that necklace need to be that long? It does. You're right. It does. It does need to be that long. And those pants do need to be exactly cut just like that.
The Canon cameras are big and heavy duty enough to be able to hold the heavy 360 on the hot shoe, but it was a big, heavy, awkward setup. And then I had my camera bag, which dug into my shoulder. My camera bag, a big, heavy, awkward setup. And then
I don't know if we're swashbuckling pirates about to climb aboard the Black Pearl in the Caribbean, or if we're about to enter some kind of revolutionary civil war. I cannot tell.
Then I had my camera bag, which dug into my shoulders even more with the weight of all those lenses and flash batteries. Man, my shoulders hurt so badly. So I switched over to Sony mirrorless cameras, which are much smaller and lighter, and the sensors are actually considerably bigger too. So everything worked.
I just realized I wasn't listening to the points he was making for this video. But yes, Sony mirrorless, lighter, smaller, yeah, of course. And this is what I talked about. Sony pulled a lot of people over because why? Full frame, mirrorless, and then icing on the cake, the grand, what do they call it? The coup d'etat. I don't know. I don't even know what that means. I feel like it's something people say. Was the autofocus. Full frame, mirrorless. First to do it. than perfected autofocus. That sold so many people.
They worked out great for me. I like Canon cameras, but for me personally, they were just too heavy for all the times I go hiking in the middle of
It's
Death
got a lot of photos in a lot of different places. This is great. I love seeing the work. It's fantastic. Thank you, Marcus, for just all the great shot.
Valley or a jungle somewhere or other exotic locations. Over time, I started using other
But I've seen this picture already. Show me something new. I've seen this picture.
light modifiers too, so be sure to check out my next few videos where I get into that, plus what it's like shooting with Sony. If you like my videos, be sure to subscribe.
Shooting with Sony. Shooting with Sony. I get it. I get it. I'm subscribed. I'm gonna watch some more, Marcus. Don't you worry. And I really like it. I think it's fun. My thank you to Kara. What's this all about? 3 days ago.
She doesn't know what this video is going to be
We're getting it's getting intimate. All right, let's see what this is about.
about.
What do you mean by that?
It's about her. And you guys as photographers, many of you who have gear acquisition syndrome.
I'm a photographer. Not a photographer. I'm a photographer. Cinematographer, photographer, cartographer.
Called gas will really appreciate this. As you know, I have gas. I have serious gear acquisitions.
Look at that. They got the prints on the hanging up on the wall. Are these elevator buttons? Is there an elevator in your house, Marcus? What are these buttons on the wall? Is it an intercom? This house is from the future.
Syndrome.
Some banners hanging up here. I'm getting a lot of information.
Probably know, I buy and give away over $100,000 worth of gear every year. And I've been doing this for about 10 years. So that's about.
Yeah. And you're dropping it all on the ground first. That's where you're not telling people. You're dropping the cameras and then giving them away.
$1 million. Now, those of you who understand my situation.
This table, the flex on this table. It's the little things.
And
hold on, let's watch. I got to watch that again. It was kind of satisfying.
That's for about 10 years. So that's about
watch it.
$1 million.
Watch
Now, those of you who understand my situation, there's two things that you are concerned about when you have gas. One is obviously the financial situation, but even more.
I do want to know, I'm curious, what is funding this entire endeavor? You're giving away $1 million in camera equipment that you're dropping on the ground. I get it. Okay. Millions of dollars. You're traveling all over the world. You're taking images. You're taking photos just for fun. What royalty checks are you getting that allow all of this to happen? Spill the beans, Marcus.
More so, what does the wife say about that?
So wife, confirmation, wife. I'm glad this is probably very, if you know Marcus, you probably know all this, but I am on a journey. I'm on an expedition to understand this man, what makes him tick.
Well, this girl is a rare gem, and I wanted to make a video because I want you to really, really appreciate what's out there. Not once, ever, since I've known her, has she ever said, "Can we afford this?" She's never questioned the financial situation. She trusts.
What? She's never questioned it. I'm questioning it. I don't even know you.
Me explicitly. Never once did she question anything. Let me tell you real quick.
I'm questioning a lot. I got lots of questions.
When we first moved into this house, as you know, I had
underground. There's an underground. There is an elevator. And we're revolution, Civil War. We're doing reenactments. Teenagers. What does the sign say? Something about acting now. Tell them.
A rifle range.
A rifle range in your basement?
In below ground here.
Tired of being something by your parents, move out, get a job, pay your own way while you still know everything. Does he have kids? Does he got teenagers? Is this for them? Is this for us? Is this for the backwards hat hooligans?
And there was all these rooms. There was a pool hall, ammunition room. There was a bedroom. There was
he lives on the Titanic.
There's a bathroom, another room. There's a bunch of rooms.
This is extra. This is that no. So no one wants a house like this anymore because it's just so much. But this was peak. This was peak.
your rooms. And I just wanted to take all the walls out and make one giant studio, but those walls hold up the house. So we had to get engineers to come out, and it took 12 companies 2 years to figure out how to take.
And she didn't question how he was paying for any of this? That's my first question. What? How?
Those walls down, put up I-beams to hold up the house, and take out the walls and do all that. So during this whole time where that was happening, all the gear that
There's all the gear. So we got some of those AF-100s, it looks like.
I had to be up
camcorders. Okay.
here. All my gear was filling up this entire place. It was like a warehouse just jammed full of stuff.
Yes, gas. We all know. We all got a lot of stuff. We got bags and lights and lenses laying
For
around.
2 years, this beautiful house was jammed with tripods, light stands.
It was a photo.
Sell it, donate it, give it away. You're giving away millions and you're not giving away this stuff. What do you need it for?
Store.
It was a storage place. It was a storage place. And not once did she ever say one word about that. I mean, for 2 years. Now, I know you guys can appreciate that, what a treat it is as somebody who likes gear to have a woman like that.
Yeah.
Well, I trust you, completely. I know you know what you're doing. Plus, as long as it's not in the kitchen. And it goes both ways. I'll come home after visiting someone for a week and I'll see something is a mess, like the desk area. And I'm like, oh my gosh, it is so sloppy over there. I'm going to start cleaning it. Turns out it's all my mess. Everything that I cleaned is mine. Not one thing is yours. And then, of course, I think, oh my goodness, this man never.
See, I want to get to the bottom of this mystery. I feel like this is a Scooby-Doo case. I got to figure out, we got to unmask some things, got to figure out how is this all funded? What? You're taking pictures for fun, funding all? No, there's got to be more to this. I got to
said, it's looking a little sloppy here. Can I clean it up? So sweet. So it goes both ways, young man.
That's one thing, but financial security
flex on that table.
Is a whole nother issue.
It's so fun.
A big issue with a lot of women is security. They're worried about, are they going to have food, clothing, and a roof over their head? And if the man leaves them, what are they going to do? Especially the more middle-aged you get, the more worried you get about financial security. And she never, ever, ever had that worry. She's not like.
This is headed a different direction than I expected.
I'm amazed that she never once questioned it.
I always think I've always thought this since I can remember. If
you're making fun of blurry backgrounds, that's a pretty blurry background if I ever seen one.
there was ever a need, if I was ever in need of money, I would just go get a job at a grocery store if I was 75 years old. Who cares? I see 70-year-old ladies working at the grocery store, and I admire that.
We're both used to having stuff and not having stuff. We both lost everything. You lived in your car for a while with your son. We are used to it.
There's just lots of cuts here. There's lots of things that we're missing bits and pieces. We're going on tangents. We're cutting out. We're getting back on track. I just want to know clearly we have something to learn, Marcus. You've got a YouTube channel that you say you don't care about. It doesn't matter for you, the views, but you're doing it anyway, just for fun. I think that's admirable. But I think a lot of us would like to know, like, how can we get an underground bunker basement studio complex with an elevator?
To it. We've been there and we don't worry about it because we know we can get it back, and it's not like a big worry about it.
No, because we have faith in ourselves. We pick us up and
everything is on loan to us in life. Everything, all the fancy.
What? Everything is on loan to us in life? I don't like the sound of that
stuff. We don't own it anyway. It's on loan to us. Yeah. We're given the experience, a chance to experience what it's like, but we don't own it. We can't take it with us. Things come in. So
that's true. But are you buying it, or is it loaned to you?
And go. And we realize this. People who are fearful, they fear loss, and we've lost things so many times. We've been down to nothing so many times that it's not a big deal. Everything is temporary as long as we have each other and we have
absolutely
our.
Okay, I got to see the comments. What do we got going? What a wonderful story. Once in a lifetime partner. Yes, I love their relationship. That's fantastic. But I need to know. Did he do Kara's love? Kara, I need to know, where is the money coming from? Interesting. I wonder if there's a video. Book, power. One more time. Now listen closely. Perfect exposure every time. Okay, tips and tricks. Face tracking, autofocus with a prime lens. A cinematic history. The Hollywood movie made with a DJI Pocket 3 camera. We got the AI photos in there. All right. Digital zoom. Why to always have digital zoom on for white balancing video and photography? Okay, interesting. I gotta see. Let's see. The fund. What should I search across this channel? No, nothing. Finance. Beware of scammers claiming to be me. Who am I? This is a 22-minute video of who he is. Do I click play on this? Here it is, my story. Where do I come from? Where do I get my money? Okay. Where do I come from? Where do I get my money?
All right, finally. So who am I? What's my backstory? Where do I get my money? What did I do in Hollywood? Why do I give so much away? Why do I only take pictures of
You keep dropping it. That's why. We know the answer.
Kara and everything else you've been asking? If you really want to know who I am, then pack your bags because this is going to be quite a journey. Let's go back to where I started. I was born in Germany in 1962 with a very weak immune system. I was very, very sick. In 1960,
we're going back. We're going back a long ways. Okay. I'm here for it.
1967, my parents moved me to Ontario, Canada, north of Toronto, on a horse farm in the middle of nowhere, miles from the nearest house. My dad taught me everything from how to fix tractors and engines to fixing electrical fences.
David Brown, is that the John Deere of Germany? This is a serious question. This is not a joke.
On a horse farm in the middle of nowhere, miles from the nearest house. My dad taught me everything from how to fix tractors.
Because I've never heard of the tractor David Brown, but I think John Deere. And of course, David Brown.
And engines to fixing electrical fences, woodworking, carpentry, basically how to be self-sufficient, which I'm very thankful for. We would spend evenings together trying to figure out perpetual free energy engines, all kinds of cool stuff.
Ooh.
I was a nerdy little skinny, sick, weak kid that got beat up all the time at school, but I didn't care. When I was 9 years old, I won a public speaking award for a speech I gave on exponential evolution. I was just in
exponential evolution. All right.
My mind all the time. My body was just a nuisance that I had to be in. I was fascinated with electronics, and Radio Shack was my favorite store. I started soldering.
Oh man, Radio Shack. Ooh, you could get so many cables and connectors at Radio Shack. They had it all.
Electrical circuits and making my own computers in the early 70s. In 1974, I made the New York Times by building a 180 square foot, fully operational miniature model of the Walt Disney World Magic Kingdom. It was fully computerized, had 2.5 miles of wiring. The rides worked. There was food on the tables, and it lit up at night. It was pretty cool. It was all made out of paper, too. By 16, I was deep into theoretical physics and advanced electronics. This was around 1975, and I started making fantasy home movies with my dad's Super 8 movie camera. Remember those? Little boxes. I started messing with explosives to blow up miniature models and figured out how to make my own forced perspective miniatures and glass paintings, something which I ended up doing in Hollywood many years later. In 1977, the art director for the movie All That Jazz came up to the farm, and after meeting me, said I could use some of the gear that MGM was using to make my own movie. It was like a kid filmmaker's dream come true. So I learned to use an Arri 16 SR. I learned to edit on a 16 millimeter film on a Steenbeck flatbed. A lot of you probably don't even know what that is. This is before computers.
You're right. Before my time, I don't know, but I do love and appreciate it.
In 1980, I went to art school in Sarasota, Florida, but quit because I was painting stuff like this in as little as 2 days, and teachers were asking me how I did what I did. And I ended up teaching night classes. These are some of the paintings I did. They were a combination of oils and acrylics on canvas or masonite. I got bored with that, so I quit. All right, 1980.
You're quite the character, Marcus. I'm enjoying learning all about you.
I started working for architectural firms, building miniature models and helping design shopping malls, golf courses, and retirement communities. In 1982, I worked for a special effects company in Clearwater, Florida, where I built a miniature model of the Washington, D.C. Mall in 9 days for the 6 o'clock news and watch.
Why are we flexing on the time? 9 days? Impressive, yes. Critical to the story of who you are? I guess so.
Washington, because it's illegal to fly over Washington. It lit up at night, and there was even little tiny airplanes in the Air and Space Museum. Then the news station in Memphis, Tennessee found out about it and wanted a miniature model built of Memphis for them. So I built Memphis, the entire city of Memphis in miniature by myself in 7 days.
By myself in 7 days. Okay, give yourself the pat on the back. I guess that's what this video is for.
I felt what I was doing was too small time, so
Oh, all right. This is the power pose here. We got the scarf, the arms crossed.
in 1985, I moved to Hollywood and immediately started working for the big effects companies like DreamQuest and Apogee, which is Grant McCune's company that did the effects for Star Wars. The first thing I did was paint the Mona Lisa on a 9-foot fiberglass dome for a Polaroid TV commercial, which ended up winning an Emmy. I painted the Mona Lisa in 3 days, cracks and everything. I'm not trying to brag or anything. It's just something that comes easy to me. And I really don't even like painting.
I love it.
Was a designer and sketch artist on movies like Total Recall, where I sat in meetings with director Paul Verhoeven. And I also painted a 35-foot backdrop of the Martian landscape for that movie. You know that scene at the end where the glass breaks and the Martian atmosphere comes into the facility and you see Mars outside? That's a 35-foot painting that I did in 1 day. It took me 1 day to paint it. 35 feet wide. That was a lot of work, crazy stuff. Anyway, I worked.
That's the speed. Was that the requirement? They only gave you a day? Is that all it took?
On over 200 TV commercials like Dodge, Chrysler, Sylvania, Pepsi. I was designer on Michael Jackson's Moonwalker video. I made all kinds of.
This is a stable career. This is financial wealth and prosperity probably, but I don't see how this work at this time would still be paying dividends now, unless I'm missing something. I hope we get to the real secrets here soon.
The miniature models, painted matte paintings, and hand painted countless movie posters. I got tired of all that, so I moved over to fine art, where I did paintings that ended up in galleries all over the world.
Yeah, but you said you didn't like painting. Or are you saying that now? You don't even really like painting, but you did painting then. It seems like he's getting bored. It's like too easy. Okay, we're just going to move on to the next thing and the next thing and the next thing and just cycle on and on and on.
Someone from NASA bought 10 of my paintings. It's kind of strange, but cool. There's a coffee table book out there with my paintings in it. I wanted my work to convey a more peaceful, serene feeling that promoted deeper introspection, spirituality, and I don't know, just more meaning.
This would have been the dopest folder in elementary school. Everyone had dolphins flying around planets in space, the space dolphins. I want the clock, pocket watch, energy man, whatever this is. If you pulled your homework out of this folder, now that's real cool.
Something I felt the world needed more of. And I got burned out on that and stuff.
Burning out. Oh, this is the pattern. Burning out, getting bored, giving stuff up, moving on.
Painting for good, and I haven't painted anything since over 30 years. I hung out with the Mensa crowd. I got bored with that, so I started.
I was hanging out with the Mensa crowd, and I just got bored.
Hanging out with the heavy metal crowd. I had Matt Sorum's drum kit. I got guitar lessons from the guitarist from Dio. The bass player from Quiet Riot hooked me.
All right.
Me up with what would end up being my girlfriend for the next 14 years. And I hung out with a band called Bad Angels. Here we are in front of the tour bus on our way to Vegas. That's me on the left. It's funny. People tell me I need to cut my hair. Well, compared to what I was back then, I did cut my hair. Anyway, I sold my house to Steve Adler, the drummer for Guns N' Roses. Steve and Duff would hang out on my back porch and chill. It was cool. but I missed filmmaking. But I didn't want to work on other people's movies anymore because it was all predictable, boring formula crap. I was like tired of all the mindless entertainment and pointless, empty violence in movies. So I started writing my own movie scripts. I started by
Okay, so you're artistically driven. That's clear from the story. It's the miniatures, it's the painting, it's the music. I'm getting the art vibes are strong. You want to go back to making movies, but they're all boring. They're dull. They're predictable. They're formulaic. You're gonna make them yourself. All right, I'm on. I'm on board.
buying my own cameras, lights, dolly track, and even making my own props and miniatures.
All yourself? Okay.
Word got out and I was given $2.5 million to make my own full-blown 35mm full-length Hollywood movie. Now, $2.5 million isn't really that much. It's like the price of a TV commercial, but by now I had learned all the secret Hollywood tricks on how to make it look like $10 million. So I was determined to make something special, something that went far beyond what others had done with that kind of money. I storyboarded the entire movie, shot by shot, every angle, every moment. I analyzed every single.
I mean, that's what you do when you're making a movie. Yep. You storyboard it shot by shot. Yeah.
Image and figured out how to build only what the camera saw, nothing else. I personally built over 300 miniature models, starting with a dozen highly detailed chips about 3 feet or 1 meter long. They were mainly made out of paper.
There are so many hobbies like this, and I'm not saying there's a hobby. He's doing this, for a financial benefit. But like the Warhammer, the miniatures, the painting, the sculpting, I find it all so fascinating. I personally am not into it. Maybe one day that bug will bite me. But I really have a lot of respect for the people who do put their, heart and soul into this kind of stuff, because it seems so like you're wondering why are you doing that? Why are you making miniatures? Why are you painting by hand? Why are you spending all this time? But clearly, some people have very talented at it.
Paper and balsa wood and Christmas ornaments. To make it more realistic, I wanted people moving around on the decks. And this is before computer animation, so I created little motorized gizmos that would make the little sculpted people move. Remember, this is before computers.
Fun. How many views is this video? All right, 224,000 views. Good, 3 years ago. All right, it's gotten the attention. All right, cool.
CGI was around. The movie had over 300 visual effects shots, and everything was practical, meaning no computers. It was all physical miniatures, glass paintings, forced perspective, and some front projection. So eventually we had to hire a real explosives crew and real stunt people, and the fire department had real fire trucks standing by. That was really cool.
Whoa! Yo, baby!
Usually you're behind some kind of shield. Do it. Blow it up. Boom. Yes. Oh, that's satisfying.
And a whole crew of miniature model artists building over 1,000 miniatures. Exotic animals were brought in, and we got some amazing actors like Billy Zabka from Karate.
I do not recognize this movie, so I might have to go watch this now. What is this fascinating masterpiece?
Kid.
Hi, darling. I've been for all day. There's an actual sculpt of my body that they made this suit out of. They shrunk the chest a little bit, so I could reach it again.
Sarah Douglas from Superman 3.
The problem is that you've not been properly motivating them.
Joss Ackland from Hunt for Red October and Lethal Weapon.
So this is what Art is off and pieces lettuce.
Why do I know him? I know him from later. A different movie. He's a little bit older.
It's insane.
And Christine Taylor from the Brady Bunch movie, who ended up marrying Ben Stiller.
Oh yeah, she's great.
Our director of photography did Never Ending Story and James Bond's Moonraker. A music composer from Canada went to Russia to score the soundtrack with a full
I mean, doing all this with $2.5 million is pretty impressive.
Orchestra and 100-man choir. Remember, this is only a $2 million movie. To pull that off.
2.5, you said, didn't you say? I think I'm remembering 2.5. You said, or 2 million, whatever.
Mind-blowing. An award-winning French costume designer, did over 400 period costumes. And even my old roommate from art school, Dave Dupuis, did the aging makeup. Now, Dave was by now very famous in Hollywood for having done the makeup effects in Stephen King's The Stand. It was an amazing dream seeing all.
That is a backwards baseball cap. and he's touching the camera. So don't you tell me, Marcus, that this is some new YouTuber trend. This is 1995 on your set. You got the guy with the beard, with the black baseball cap backwards.
All these really talented people helped my dream come true. They believed in my script
I'm
and what it
lots
was
of good hair
about.
on
A
this
love
set.
story that
Lots of good
transcends
hair.
time in a world where all countries end war and get together and fight a common enemy, the clock of time. It was a timeless fairy
Time.
tale romance with
Is that who the Clock of Time? Is that art piece part of this?
epic battle scenes and lots of fun special
This is
effects.
so much.
And in the middle of
So
all
much
this, I
going
wasn't
on.
just directing and everything else. I actually was still building miniatures. Like I built a 30-foot miniature ship, which was designed to be
That's interesting. I'm trying to think if there's other examples of someone who's the kind of practical effects, miniature builder, construction, kind of working in the props and set design and all that in the art department, who's also the director. I'm trying to think. I'm sure there's plenty of examples on the lower end, B movies, low budget independent films, but I'm trying to think I've never heard of this movie before, so I'm assuming it's in kind of that category anyway. But it's just fascinating. It's not, a lot of times you see like a cinematographer director or maybe like an actor director, but not as much from the art department. It's kind of interesting.
to be a foreground miniature, all made out of paper and foam. And yes, of course, we
But okay, it's a lot of how the movie was made. How are you making your money?
blew it up. I love blowing stuff up. The miniature team built an amazing 12-foot high castle and a bunch of other highly detailed miniatures. The only
Yeah, and they probably did it in a day. So what? They did it in a day. All the painting, the miniatures, they did it in a day.
miniatures
By
remaining
themselves.
are 4 of the 3-foot ships that I built way at the beginning. For almost an entire year, we worked tirelessly around the clock with very little sleep. It was exhausting, but something I will never forget. I could spend days talking about this, but I wrote about the entire experience in my book, Dream Chaser, which talks about how I went from having nothing, absolutely zero, I was broke, to being given $2.5 million to make
See, 2.5. I was right. I remembered right.
my own movie. You should read the book. What we pulled off was amazing, but it was very low budget. And you can tell, we were still lacking in some things, but we did what we could.
I don't know. From what I'm seeing, I'm like for 95. Yeah, arguably there's like better, more expensive stuff, but I think that what's there is actually quite impressive from a art perspective. The costumes, the makeup, all the props and miniatures and sets and stuff. I think it's nice to look at. It's more interesting than just watching a bunch of renderings on a computer.
Could with what we had. It premiered in Mann's Chinese Theater on Hollywood Boulevard, the most famous movie theater in the world, and it played in theaters all over the world and even aired on the Sci-Fi Channel for a few years. It was called To the Ends of Time.
To the Ends of Time. Psh, I'm going to have to watch this now.
After the movie, I was completely burned out, as you can imagine.
And the pattern continues. The burnout, I'm done. I'm still wondering where's the money coming from.
I didn't know what to do. So I get a phone call from Slash saying, hey, dude,
Of course, as you do. When you burn out making a feature film for $2.5 million, Slash just gives you a call.
love pinball games. Can you make a Guns N' Roses pinball game? So Slash and I flew up to Chicago to meet with Data East Pinball. So I ended up doing all the artwork for the game. And as weird and unpredictable as life is, I ended up becoming one of the top pinball artists in the world, doing the artwork for top games like Star Wars, Lethal Weapon, Jurassic Park, Tommy, Baywatch, Last Action Hero, World Wrestling.
He said he didn't paint. He said he gave up painting. How is he doing the art for these pinball machines if he gave up painting?
Federation, and many, 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 many more. I was flown to Skywalker Ranch to personally introduce the Star Wars game to George Lucas. That was kind of actually embarrassing. Star Wars changed my life. When in 1975, I was a kid. That's one of the things that got me into movie making. I love Star Wars. I wanted to be a filmmaker. And here I am years later meeting the great George Lucas personally. And I couldn't really say, hey, George, by the way, I love filmmaking. I want to be a filmmaker. No, I was the pinball guy. It's like I finally get to meet George Lucas and I'm the pinball guy.
That is the sad truth about reality and the situations we find ourselves in often. the what you want, your dreams, your hopes, your desires, what you think of yourself does not always align with where you are currently in reality. And then you have those awkward moments where you feel you know what's going on in your head, you know all about yourself, but the strangers around you see you as the pinball guy.
It was so, it's not how I wanted to meet George Lucas, but I've got to meet George Lucas anyway. So People magazine did a full page story on me. One thing led to another. And in another weird twist of fate, many of the top slot machines in Las Vegas in the early 2000s had my artwork on them. The Maryland game, Sinatra, James Dean, Wheel of Fortune, and many more. Yeah, I was heavy into Hollywood merchandising. So once again, I got bored of all the commercialism and mindless entertainment and
got bored of it. Surprise, surprise.
Walked away. Health reasons tore apart my girlfriend of 14 years, which opened my eyes to realize there's a whole other world out there full of people with health problems. The more I looked around, the more I realized nobody really knew what real health was. So my scientific curiosity once again kicked in, and I wanted to see what would happen if I only ate the way nature intended. Just eat fresh, raw plants. No cooking, no baking, no boiling, no sugar, no dairy, no bread, no modern food, nothing. I started experimenting with different herbs and creating my own formulas, and the results were dramatic, to say the least. It was insane. I didn't even need glasses anymore. I didn't get sick anymore. No more allergies, no more asthma, no more colds or flus or aches or pains. It was like some Marvel superhero backstory.
Is this where the money's coming from? You selling supplements? Is that what's funding this and all these endeavors?
I had to tell the world about it. So I wrote my core book, Heal Yourself 101, and created thehealthylife.com. People started writing in from all over the world how they healed themselves of practically anything imaginable. It was mind-blowing. You can see a lot of them on marcustestimonials.com. I was flowing all.
Okay. I see.
Over the world to speak. Toronto, Hamburg, Berlin, Zurich, Switzerland, Munich, and Moscow in front of 9,000 people. And I even met with heads of government. Then one day I was contacted by the military to be health consultant to a group of weapons of mass destruction first responders. They picked me up in a vehicle with blacked out windows and said, "We have the package." I was the package. They even gave me a medallion. It was a very cool experience. I'm very honored to have been a part of that.
The highlight is you're making movies, you're meeting George Lucas, and then we get these other bumps along the way.
I now live in a house that 3 presidents have visited since it was built. I forgot to tell you the part where earlier in my life, I gave up on society and walked naked into the desert, not caring if I survived. I had my...
You just forgot about that part, did you? You just forgot. Omitted that whole part.
40 days in the desert. I don't know if exactly 40 or not, but it doesn't matter. What walked in was not the same person that walked back out. I had a whole new way of looking at life. I realized there is no such thing as security. Money comes and goes. The only thing that matters is peace and doing the right thing.
Okay, come on. I want to know what's funding everything. Just give me that, and then I'll know the rest.
I learned to admire things but not need them. But in so doing, I was given even more than I knew existed. I made a video about having to give 10% of everything you own. We don't own anything. Everything is just on loan to us. The more we learn to appreciate, the more we are given.
Everything is on loan to us. So this is part of the ethos. This is the mantra. This is the philosophy. Everything is on loan to us. Okay. Is that house? Is all the equipment? Tell me more.
And to experience. One of those amazing gifts is Kara. She's everything I ever dreamed of and fantasized about rolled into one. She ran 2 of the world's first gourmet raw food restaurants in California. Her regular customers were people like Steve Jobs, Barbara Streisand, Woody Harrelson, Kevin Bacon, Heath Ledger, Justin Timberlake, Jessica Biel, and many, many more. Now you got to understand it.
Name drop. There's
only a few raw food people in the world, and most of them are hippies, not glam queens who love to dress up.
I didn't know it, but we both happened to move to Vegas and lived just a few miles apart. And then one day we
Vegas vibes. That's what it is. It's the Vegas vibes. I couldn't quite put my finger on it, but that's what it is.
bumped into each other at Home Depot, and the rest is history. Some people ask,
Of all places that I would not have picked Home Depot. That wasn't even anywhere on the bingo sheet.
why do I only take pictures of Kara?
I did ask that.
Believe it or not, when we met, all I had was a pocket camera and a tiny camcorder.
I believe it. A pocket camera and a camcorder. Yes, these are things you love. I believe it.
I wasn't really into photography that much, but she was so hot, I had to keep grabbing my camera because I couldn't believe what was standing in my living room. And I thought, if she's going to leave, I wanted proof she existed. As it turned out, she never left. She just stuck around, and taking pictures of her became a hobby. I didn't really need a good camera until we created a cookbook together, and I needed a decent camera for the food pictures.
So you're just hanging out, snapping away, taking pictures, and then it just becomes your hobby and you make a cookbook? Again, I'm missing the threads that are connecting all
I got a Canon Rebel T7i, and that was the start of me getting into photography. Kara was so beautiful and natural in front of the camera, I had to improve my gear to do her justice. Every time she went out to eat, she would dress up, look amazing, so I, of course, had to take pictures of her. And when we went on vacation, I figured out better and better ways to be portable, but pack a lot of punch with lights and gear. I finally found something I really, really enjoyed doing: photography. And I was able to use
I'm perplexed.
my creative, artistic abilities doing something for myself for once, on my own schedule, not for other people. But I could simultaneously use it to show people what was possible if they had a healthy lifestyle and diet at any age. The fact that we're in our 50s made it even more fun because anybody can look good in their 20s and 30s. But to look like this in their 50s is living proof. So my pictures and videos started inspiring and helping people all over the world to a healthier lifestyle. And I love photography and tinkering and experimenting. It's what artists do. So one thing led to another, and now I'm constantly trying to find the smallest, most lightweight travel gear that can take great pictures with high-speed sync strobes, great audio, and depth of field, but be as small and lightweight as possible. I don't need the biggest, fanciest cameras out there. I don't need to impress anybody with my gear or anything. I just want to be...
You don't need to impress anyone with your gear. So that's yes, because you're doing it for fun. You're doing it for yourself. It's your hobby. This is the dream that everyone wants, just to work for themselves, to be creative, to follow their passions and not worry about putting on the show. But a lot of people have to put on the show. So you can't really slight them when they don't have, again, I don't know how you're funding all this, the glamour. You're doing it somehow.
Want to be free to travel, capture beautiful images, and create beautiful memories. Kara is the reason I got into photography, so we can capture memories to look back on years from now and say, remember when we looked like that? I am not a professional photographer. I don't get paid to take pictures for other people. I don't want to do that. I just want to have fun taking pictures of Kara.
Admirable. It's interesting you only have one subject, but sure, if that's your thing, you take taking pictures as one person. More power to you. What's the behind the scenes?
Make videos that...
How are we paying for all this? I do all the equipment. I know it's cheap, but it's adding up. You showed me your living room. I saw all the gear. You're giving away $1 million of gear. How?
Inspire people. That's it. Interestingly enough, Kara is basically Cinderella. Her 3 brothers and sisters always got the attention, and she was the one in the back doing the dishes. She never got to have the fun the others did. Her dream was just to someday be photographed by a professional photographer so she could feel good about herself. She made my dreams come true, and I do my best to make hers come true. All right, how do I make money? Many people think it's from my herbal products because that's all they see.
Okay, that's where I'm at right now. How to make money? Herbal products. Tell us more.
Created the herbal products just for myself, using the most expensive and rare exotic herbs I could get because
that's a sales pitch.
I wanted to see what would happen. Then other people asked for them, so I started sharing them. And eventually I started selling them just a little bit above cost. There isn't much profit in those because of their expensive ingredients. And then the fulfillment center and customer service eats up like the rest of the profit. So that isn't really a profit. So
Okay, you're not making any profit. You're just doing it because it's the best. Okay.
that's kind of just my service to help people heal themselves. Over the years, I started investing. The moment I got some money, even a little bit, I would reinvest it. And over time, that all adds up. I started getting into real estate, stocks, metals, and all kinds of stuff. So now I have a pretty diversified portfolio spread out over all kinds of stuff.
Here we go. It's not the movies. It's not royalties. It's not herbal supplements. It's just investments. Okay. Why are you leaving this? Why is it a secret then? Just say, hey, I've got a good stock portfolio. I bought some real estate. I bought some gold. Okay, we get it.
And
why is this the carrot on the stick? Why are we being strung along?
And over the years, I met a bunch of people who helped me with investments, including an advisor to British royalty. I don't buy.
What? So you met some people who helped you with these decisions. Okay.
Buy big expensive things that go down in value, like American cars. My big expenditures are things that go up in value, like Italian exotics. And I don't get anything I cannot pay for in cash. I try not to finance anything if possible, because that's how you lose everything.
But you said not to be afraid of losing everything because it's all just loaned to us anyway. But I agree. Yeah, you should buy it cash if you can. Yeah, don't go into debt.
Made a video here about how I was able to save for many of the things in my life by simply never drinking alcohol ever in my life, or smoking, or any other bad habit. I give 10%, not to people who ask for help, but to those who don't. And usually it's not people, it's animals, because they don't have a choice. I'm a total recluse. And if the whole world just vanished or disappeared and it was just...
I got to go back here. So it's making its investments through people in the British royalty. This is highly played. Let's see it.
I met a bunch of people who I started investing. The moment I got some money,
so you get some money, you invest it. Smart, good.
A little bit, I would reinvest it. And over time, that all adds up. I started getting into
compound interest. Makes sense.
Real estate, stocks, metals, and all kinds of stuff. So now I have
all kinds of stuff. Stocks, real estate, and metals. Gold and silver, I assume. And all kinds of stuff.
I have a pretty diversified portfolio spread out over all kinds of stuff.
All kinds of stuff. What kind of stuff?
And over the years, I met a bunch of people who helped me with investments, including an advisor to British royalty.
I missed it the first time. It's the British royalty. It's the advisor to the British royalty. It's helping him with these investments, giving him some extra information that we don't have, I guess.
I don't buy big expensive things that go down in value, like American goose. And if the whole world just vanished or disappeared and it was just me and Kara, I'd be okay with that. I've lost everything I've had many times over. And
yeah, and there was the whole story about walking naked into the desert that we didn't really get to hear about, but you came back a different person. I would be curious what sparked that story.
Learned that we really don't own anything. Everything is just on loan to us.
Actually, you said this. We've heard, but then you said to not be afraid, but then you are afraid of losing things. That's why you buy it cash. And things that only go up in value, not down in value.
As for YouTube, I couldn't care less about subscribers or clicks. None of my videos are monetized. My core Heal Yourself book is free. My herbs are basically sold at cost. I make free videos showing people how to gain financial freedom, how to regain their health, how to have great, fulfilling relationships, how to make a difference in the world. You know, I'm here to inspire, not to cut people down. I promote constructiveness, not competition and negativity. We need to honor and respect.
I mean, yes, but the video that I came across was, I mean, not negative. The poking fun at the YouTubers. Is that encouraging? Is that positive? I'll take it. Yeah, I think it's fun.
Respect each other's differences and work together, not against.
I agree.
Just learn to appreciate the beauty in your life. There's lots of magic all around you. You just have to change the way you look at things. Stop dwelling on the negative and look for the positive, because you attract what you dwell on.
I'm almost 60, but I'm still a kid. I refuse to grow up. I love photography.
Then you need the shelves with all the kid toys and memorabilia. That's the secret.
Because it captures beauty, but it also allows us to create fantasy worlds we can escape into. Life is short. Make the best with what you have. Leonardo da Vinci created masterpieces with a stick of charcoal. A single mother living in poverty scribbled some fantasies onto a piece of paper. The name of her scribblings was Harry Potter. She is now a billionaire. It all starts with your heart, not by copying others. Do not copy me or anyone else. Your
Good
path
advice.
to freedom comes from following your own inner voice. And your happiness and peace does not come from money. It comes from you being free to be yourself. I wrote 2 books about it.
Yeah, yes and no.
A little pocket book entitled Instructions for a New Life and a hardcover book, The Prosperity Secret. The best investment you could ever make is in yourself. It
True.
takes time. It took me almost 50 years. It does not happen overnight. So be patient and just start following your own path. I gave up everything I had and walked naked into the desert. I had nothing.
Tell us more about that story.
There is no excuse. You have to start somewhere. Be patient and just start doing the right thing. It all starts with feeling peace and giving love.
Okay. I know so much more now. I feel like I've been enlightened. I feel like I've been in the desert naked on this journey, this whirlwind of wondering, where are we going? How did we get here? I really didn't expect this to go the direction it did. But I'm kind of glad it did. I'm not mad about it. I am not mad about it. I've got a movie to watch. The ends of time, the time where the ends of time, something about the ends of time. I'll look it up. I'll figure it out. I'll remember. And then I got to take my notes. The IMAX killer, Mindblowing in the title. Thank you, Marcus. I feel like I've learned a lot. I feel like this is going to be a good video because of all your insights, because of the pink lighting, because of the hand gestures and the sups and the backwards hat and the beard. It's all coming together. I need to get the tattoos, but I think I'll just do the put on sleeves, you know, the ones you can buy on Amazon. You just roll up the sleeve of the tattoos. I think that'll check the box. And I'm hopeful that I too can invest in stocks, real estate, metals, and other things. And hopefully I can meet someone who's an advisor to the British royalty as well. Because given enough time, I'd like to be earning some compound interest on my investments as well and growing my portfolio so that I can have a house with an elevator and just travel the world and take pictures for fun. I think you're living the dream. And I couldn't be more happy for you. I think it's incredible. You've got style, you've got class. You got some good words of wisdom there at the end for us all. Don't copy others. Find your own path. Love, peace, happiness. It's all phenomenal. I feel like I've really learned so much, and I've grown. I've grown as a person in this hour and a half. Whew. That's a lot of growing.